Damn it, man. I'm fucking pissed off. Those motherfuckers are beating my ass out on those ranked games, and I'm just dropping off my rating, my rankings. I'm getting fucking obsolete. I'm getting old, I'm getting slower, and I don't know what it fucking is going on. I will even have to start analyzing players once again. Then I hate to do that. Actually, I don't. I enjoy it. So I shall share with you my analysis. And here we are, guys. So what am I going to do? I will start analyzing players every day. I will start to take 1 hour every day of my day to analyze players once again. And I'm gonna start here. I downloaded some players here, and we're just going to watch some ranked players. So basically, I went to AOE Nexus, downloaded a few games from the top 4 players in the ranked. So when I entered the website, I saw there Nikov, Sito, Winchester, and Belize, and those 4 guys are the top 4 current players there. All have 2k5 rates. And how are those guys keeping 2k5 rates, win percentages over 65%? And what the fuck are they doing right? You know, what are the strategies? What's the difference between those guys and regular 2K players? So why are they so much better? Why are those guys on top, and why are they always making through the qualifiers and always getting closer and closer to the playoffs, and sometimes even winning events? So that's what we are going to analyze. We're going to see the guys that are more active here in this new series called St4rk Analysis. Okay, so let's go for it. The first game here is between Nikov, the Pendejo, versus Belize. So Nikov is playing in his second account, Kalashnikov, obviously because he has no balls, and versus Belize. So let's take a look. Here's the game, and they are actually playing here. Nikov with the Byzantines versus Belize, who's playing with the Slavs. They're playing on an Arabia map. They seem to have a very good map because look how the wood lines are closer. It seems that they just changed the map once again. The wood lines are not so screwed up once again. We have 3 wood lines for each player, and those wood lines seems to be way closer to each player's town center once again. So Arabia has changed it once again. Nikov already lured one deer, and he has only 3 villagers here on the wood line, which kind of indicates that he might not be planning to use a barrack opening, but instead of that, he's actually planning to go for a faster up to feudal age. That's why he goes for a minimum amount of villagers on the wood line. So a faster up and probably an archer opening. That's what I'm expecting. He's luring a second deer. A third one, an ostrich actually. And there he goes. There we see he is going up here to the next stage. He's defending now from 2 militia rush performed here by Belize, and he did that by adding palisades on his resources, so the so-called resource wall. So Nikov used palisade walls. He went for a very fast upgrade. Didn't allow his villagers to be taken, which is interesting. Belize went for a later upgrade since he went for the early rush. So let's try to find out how they are going to do that. He's already making spearmen, and of course he's Byzantine, so he's gonna be way more effective doing that. And he's dropping a stable as Byzantines. That's quite curious, right? Byzantine opening with stable is not something that you see every day. That's very unusual, to be honest. He's taking on the fight versus the militia. He has 2 scouts here, low HP, but 2 scouts. He stopped making scouts. He's focusing now on making more farms. Let's see if he has the horse collar. I didn't notice it. Yep, he does have the horse collar, and he is also walling. Meanwhile, we can see that, well, Belize is also working on his walls, and he's dropping archers here. Belize is about to finish his walls. He has a spearman to defend himself, and he's already coming here to counterattack here using archers. Nikov has made now blacksmith and fletching, and he is already defending his base with skirmishers. And of course, we can see by the way that he builds his base that he places his building in front of the gold. So he builds a perimeter in front of the resources here, and he is using lots of walls. Both players using lots of walls here, building perimeters around their resources. Aiding villagers on the food. He goes up, adds a second one, and now makes a transition to archers. But look at that! Belize is the first one to reach Castle Age, and he did that without the use of a market. He did that just by using the Slavic farms. Quite interesting. We can see a good amount of archers here, and he's already dropping off knights +2, while Nikov is just messing up a lot of archers. A lot of archers going on for Nikov. He's adding camels on the back of it, since he knows that he has to fight against knights. He's also added a second and now a third TC. Belize is trying to add some farms. Nikov is pressuring, killing the mill, pressuring some farms. Oh my goodness, look at that. And Belize resigns because it seems that he has no defense versus this amount of crossbowmen, and since there are too much camels, too much crossbowmen, he couldn't actually counter the army from Belize, and he probably wasn't expecting that he would have a hole here on his map. Nikov also did an excellent job here by adding a university and upgrading ballistics. That's how he could kill 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 villagers at least with this attack, which allowed him to open a big advantage toward his opponent. So even if they traded evenly here on this fight, the villager advantage that Nikov opened versus Belize was enough to force him to resign. And we can see that Nikov was actually making a transition here into another stable, more monasteries, so he was going to invest here into more monks, more camels, and he would keep producing the same combination of army. Interesting. Second game, a rematch between those two. It's very common that players that have a very high elo are matched versus each other quite frequently, because there are very few opponents within the same elo range, you know. So that's quite common. We can see now Belize playing as the Byzantines versus Nikov playing as the Goths, and they are playing on Mega Random in a very unusual map here. And Nikov says, gee, what the fuck, why did he resign it? What the fuck is this, man? You were making me lose my time. What the fuck is this pendejo doing, man? Even 2k5 players can do mistakes, huh? I believe that he probably killed his boar with the town center. No. What did he do? Okay, he's taking the boar. So far, so good. No, he just gathered 2 boars. Alright here. He was scouting. Oh no. He was scouting. He saw that Belize was walling. What the fuck? He's about to get housed. No, he didn't get housed. By a small fraction of seconds, but he didn't get housed. Now he's idle. This pendejo is fucking crazy. Okay. Next one. Now we have Italians here for Belize versus Nikov with the Incas, and they are playing on Arabia. Yep, it seems that I was correct. Arabia has changed and we now have every player with 3 on wood. And they are not so distant anymore. We can see that Belize is pushing deers and he's pushing all the 3. So it seems that pushing all the 3 deers quite fast seems to be very important here for using all the resources that are at your disposal. He's getting drushed, but he of course defended here with the palisade resources. We can see that those guys, they do not get themselves fucked up by enemy drushes. Their villagers do not get caught. They always have resource walls, which is quite amazing. Now we have a big fight. Italians versus Incas. We can see already an archer range, and Belize is transitioning into skirmishers in order to fight the Mesa civilization. But we can see that Nikov is adding together with his ranged unit a few eagles. How is this gonna end? Look at the amount of eagles, they are just increasing. That's too much eagles, huh? Whoa! He's just trying to trade skirmisher for skirmisher. Now he's running. Belize seems to be almost ready to click up here. He just dropped a lot of arms. He's keeping archers behind. He's trying to use the skirmishers in the front to trade with the enemy archers. He's using the hill to maximize the archer attack. So that's how he's playing versus the Inca. He's avoiding losing any archers to the enemy archers while using the hill to maximize it. So the full composition of ranged units is being used here. He realized that his enemy is going eagles. He's going back now. He has already 3 ranges. It's 3 ranges and a crossbow gameplay. And Nikov resigns because he was not able to stop those archers from entering his economy, and he didn't have enough eagles to stop his enemy. Despite upgrading elite eagle eagle warrior and the armor, well, if you cannot stop the enemy from entering your base with this amount of archers, you cannot kill it. And the key here was messing up enough archers to kill the enemy. And of course, we can see that those guys play with crossbows. They are going to maximize the numbers. He's going to use all the upgrades he can. He had a university. He was also making tambourine. So he truly commits to the archer gameplay. Quite interesting game here by Mr. Belize. How he protected and avoided losing any archer during the feudal fights while still pressuring the opponent. We are moving now to Nikov versus Winchester, so let's say goodbye for Mr. Belize for now. Winchester now. And he is playing with Hindustan. What can we expect from that? Huh? I don't know. A barracks. Winchester is going out here for 2 militia rush, it seems. He's walling. Here comes the 2 militias. Winchester got second place in a big tournament, King of the Desert or something, if I'm not mistaken, losing only to TheViper, and he was kind of a master on this art of using the double militia rush. He kind of shows up that he can do all the damage he needs using by only 2 militias and a scout, while also making a 22 population, and he uses his extra time to build up a good defensive approach here. Look at that. He's walling his base. Nikov is walling, so every time we see those guys are walling their resources, and they are also going to wall their bases fully, so walling is all part of the meta. Men-at-arms here. Men-at-arms trying to get in, Men-at-arms not getting in. Archer transition for Winchester. He clicks up. He's adding now a second in a second archer range. He's adding now a stable, advancing with more archers. An outpost from Nikov. That's quite smart for him. Another one. Good micro work here from both. Kiev Archer gameplay here by Winchester. Already with University. Quite a smart idea here to use light caps. They already have 2 pierce armor, so they are quite bulky versus skirmishers. So the combination of crossbows and elite skirmisher kind of suffers to a few scouts. And Nikov throws up the GG because he realizes that he won't be able to stop this combination for now. Whoa. Okay. Interesting game. People are fearing Hindustanis. Now we're going to see Kingston versus Sito, the baguette. We have here Kingston playing with the Chinese versus Sito playing with the Hindustanis. Well, Chinese, one of the best civs of the game. We have lure happening here from Kingston. An archer range, skirmishers. He's just defending from the militia rush. With skirmishers, now dropping archers, dropping a lot of arms. Some half acid walls here. Defending from the enemy attacks here. Building up farm numbers, not using market at all. Now that's interesting, a stable here for the Chinese. This stable kind of made the difference there. He's trying to pressure the enemy using crossbows. Nice. He mistaken a mill for a mining camp. So even 2K4, 2K5 players can do those mistakes. So that's interesting. We can even spot small mistakes in this level of game. This gives me some confidence. They're just trading up mangonels, but we can see already Winchester going up to Imperial Age, while Kingston is just making now a stable for a night transition here. He's focusing more on the gameplay during Castle Age, and he's advancing here to drop a castle on this hill, which will probably deny the third gold of Sito. A lot of knights. Kingston's raiding with light cabs. So it's a lot of light cabs, traps and skirmishers. He's keeping around 55 villagers on the farms. He's advancing. He's just keeping the position here, which is denying Sito to advance towards the center of the map, while constantly spamming skirmishers, light cabs. So he's using the timing here in his favor. The timing, the positioning, building castle in hills. An defensive attempt was made by Winchester, but that wasn't possible to do. He was seemed to be trying to transition into where I became archers, but he just couldn't. And last game here is Jordan versus Nikov, and we're going to watch this on the point of view of Mr. Jordan 23. Well, it seems that he is Gurjaras. Why? Well, simply because he has two foragers here, and look at this build. He starts by putting all the sheep he finds into the mill. He starts by eating the forage and luring the boar. And he went up. It seems that all those ships together are equal to like 1.5 views, or yeah, around 1.5 villager. He went for the archers. You can see Winchester trying to defend himself. I still was getting added here. Scouts are being made here. Burgundians on Castle Age. So what now? We have here some Shrivansha rider. It seems to be some kind of Hostilia. And with a rating of these raiders, he's able to completely kill off Nikov. They seem to have some kind of charge attack, and once they are charged, they are way stronger. Alright, so this ends up, guys, the analysis of day 1. So, well, it didn't take an hour, but it took way less, which is doable. So, if I do this every day, I can watch the builds, I can see what good practice they are taking. One thing very special here about Jordan is that he put himself in a very offensive state here, and he didn't use any kind of wall in order to do that. He did a very macro-oriented game, and he didn't need the use of walls. But he knew that he had to pressure his enemy since it was Burgundian, and he would most likely be trying to buy time for his Civ to go for the early Pure Mage and maybe even boom to Flemish Revolution or anything like that. So those were the games of today. I hope you have enjoyed it. This was Stark Analysis number 1.